Hello everybody, I am Baltmatrix, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Studio Series Core Class Wheelie! This is now the third Wheelie that we've gotten this year. Okay, we've gotten 2 official Hasbro-released Wheelies and 1 third-party Wheelie. This little figure comes from the Big Bad Toy Store, and at the time of this recording, it is currently in stock. I'm really happy with this little guy, except for one little thing. He's got some junk in that trunk, and his lack of real heels is a little bit annoying, but you can pull off some decent poses, which I have done so here, if I can actually get him to stand. Hey, there we go. The figure comes with his iconic slingshot that is its own accessory. It's really tiny, and it's wedged into the cardboard to the bottom left hand of the figure, so it's easy to miss, and it's also almost the same color as his backdrop. So I've got his backdrop here, and the little thing is wedged in right there, so if you're not careful, you could easily miss it. Now, his backdrop is that of Quintessa, with a window, because his butt flap literally hangs out of this hole. I don't know. It's fine. It's the bridge that the Dinobots are walking across when you hear the friend find, look behind line. It's fine. Wheelie can store the slingshot in robot mode, and I'm not making this up. It stores right up his butt. It just pegs in up there, and he's got the slingshot hanging out of his butt. Put it in your butt. Now, comparing the new Wheelie to the Constipated Nightmare that we got before, you could see that, well, it's a lot better. We've got much more accurate paint. For one, the orange on Wheelie is better on the new figure, but there is more paint on this other one, I feel. The head sculpts are also a little better. However, well, I don't want to say a little better. The head sculpt on the new figure is more in line with what I think Wheelie is, as opposed to whatever this dead face is. I don't know. The new figure is just better, except one thing. I think that there should have been bright orange around the head on the new figure. I don't know why they didn't do that. That's the one thing about this other figure that I like versus the new one. That bright orange, and it's molded slightly better because that line that's going across his forehead is much more visible on this figure than it is on the new one. The other figure to compare to is the DNA design figure that came out with the Grimlock upgrade kit. As you can see, the DNA design one is a little taller, and I think the head sculpt works a little bit better. Overall, though, both of them are good. The Hasbro one doesn't have nearly as much paint as the third-party one, but I like the Hasbro one a little bit better in terms of the front of the robot mode. The DNA design one looks a little bit too, how do I describe this? It doesn't look quite right because the chest isn't pronounced as much as in the Hasbro version, but they're still both very good, and they have similar posability. New Wheelie figure can look up and down a little bit. His head is on a swivel, so there is 360-degree poltergeist swivel. Shoulder hinge for the transformation, ball joint in the shoulder, ball joint in the elbow, no fist articulation, which I really wish there was just one bit of hinging going on there, but I can understand why there isn't. That is very, very tiny. There is no torso articulation due to the nature of the transformation. Ball joint in the hip, ball joint in the knee, toe articulation up and down for the transformation. No ankle articulation. I would have loved if these wheels could fold out to form bigger heels, or this whole section could fold out to form bigger heels, because that's where I think the figure falls over, literally. Now, compared to the DNA design, ball joint in the head, ball joint in the shoulder, ball joint in the elbow, ball joint in the hip, torso articulation, ball joint, because of the way the transformation is designed, swivel at the knee, bend at the knee, and then foot articulation in and out just a little bit. Not much, though. I will say the one thing that this Studio Series figure does better than the new one is it sits on Grimlock a lot better. This is the best I can do, and it isn't that great. Wheelie's transformation is interesting. It's legitimately interesting. To start off with, come down to the figure's legs, turn the leg or the lower leg so that they're pointing in, and then flip out the toes like that. Then bring the legs together and smoosh them together. If they pop apart, that's fine. That'll be fixed in a second. Come to the arms and put them all the way out like you're T-posing. Come into the chest, unpeg the chest, and just turn it and pull it up just a little bit. Then open up the back on the hinge like that, and then flip the entire chest around and push the head into place, and then pet the naughty kitty who is interrupting your video review. Naughty kitty, you are such a naughty kitty. Why? Stop it. Stop it. This is video review time, not pet cat time. So, returning back to the transformation before I was so rudely interrupted, open up the backpack, flip up the chest, and then you'll want to kind of fiddle around and just get the head into the canopy. Close the canopy up, and then flip up the rest of the chest. I have found that it doesn't really want to flip up all the way correctly and stay closed, so what I've ended up doing is flipping it up and then pushing down, because there's this series of hinges here, and pushing it down and up and just massaging it a little bit will get it so that it stays flush like that. Then take the hips and bring the hips forward a little bit like that so that they are touching, and that will remove the pressure on the legs to, split them apart. Flip the legs forward, and there is this little indent created right here by the toes, and that will peg into the front or the bottom of the chest. And get that lined up, and there are also slots on the sides of the legs that will peg into the slots that are inside the chest. Just get all that lined up and push it into place, down like that, and we're just about done. Take the back, fold it down, and this is where you'll want to peg in the slingshot. Just peg that into place. Take the arms, straighten them out until they snap into place. You see the little pegs there? They'll snap into place. And then hinge them back, and there are slots behind the wrists that will peg into the back like that. And I've actually found that these slots are a little bit difficult to get pegged in because the plastic is so thin back here. I ended up having to pull this off and just get my finger wedged up in there and just push it and snap it into place. As long as everything's lined up, it should go in smoothly. If not, you'll have to just massage it. And then, that's it. That's the vehicle mode. I think the vehicle mode is okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And I do have a tendency to, as soon as you put pressure on the back of the vehicle mode, it pops apart. And you can see how it's not, getting flush there because the plastic is flexing a little bit more than I'd like. But it's fine. I think the vehicle mode is fine and is a good representation of that original character. Though we never saw him transform in the movie that I can remember. It's a cute little vehicle mode. Only issue I have is the fact that the fists are sticking out the back. I would have loved there to have been a hinge or something that allowed you to fold the fists underneath the back of the vehicle mode, kind of like Studio Series RC from the Bumblebee movie. But at this scale, that would not have worked. I don't think it could have been done. It's a fine little vehicle mode. Now, how about it compared to the DNA design version? I think the Hasbro version is better. I like the DNA design version, but I think the Hasbro one is just better. It also, I don't get the whole seat in front of the cockpit thing. And how is it versus our poopy little friend here? It literally drives circles around him. Overall, I think the Studio Series figure Wheelie is pretty good. It's not perfect, and it's got some minor flaws here and there, but I like it. I legitimately like it. I think it's a fun figure. It's just getting it transformed back into robot mode is a bit of a pain because of the connections underneath the chest are so tight. But it's a nice little figure. It works. It's decently priced. And honestly, this is the scale that Wheelie should be at anyway. Not a deluxe class, not anything bigger. This is a good Wheelie figure. I can't believe I'm saying that in the year 2022, but I am. And there we have it, folks. In the year 2022, we have a good wheelie figure. I'm as shocked as anybody. I really am. I was not expecting this to be a great figure, but it is a good figure. It's not great. It's good. And it works well with the other core class figures, or scales well with them. I think this is definitely worth something having in your collection, especially if you're a fan of the original movie. And that's it for this video review. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and be sure to let me know what you think of the figure down in the comments. Word of warning, if the notification bell doesn't work for you, unsubscribe from my channel, refresh your screen or refresh your window, and then resubscribe to the channel, and then you'll be able to add a notification bell to it. So yeah, I don't know why YouTube is doing that, they just are. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you all next time.